Good evening, yes, I'm back, and I probably look really fitting for this kind of video, talking about haunted places and ghosts, because I have not been very well these past few days. I've had a migraine and I'm still getting over said migraine, so I don't mind the messy hair that's not been washed, the skin that's not been skincared, and the makeupless face, because I'm too tired for that and I don't have the energy. I have conserved all my energy to do this evening for you guys, so that's why I might look a bit disheveled, if you will. But why am I even telling you that? Like, who cares what I look like? That's not the reason we're here. Who cares? I shouldn't care. You shouldn't care. You probably don't care. Welcome back to Ghost Stories with Joanna. I'm Joanna, aka Commitment Issues, and tonight I'd like to tell you the story of the ancient Ram Inn, one of the most haunted places in England, because I kind of want to come away from the reaction stuff and do more unique things and talking about haunted places, especially in the UK to start with, because I find it interesting. I love ghost stories and stories about hauntings, and I love watching paranormal investigations, and so I looked up the 10 most haunted places in England, and the Ram Inn was one of those 10. And I realised when I started looking into this, like, oh wait, I just watched a Sam and Colby video of them going here. Now that I've done some research into it, I'm like, oh, okay. It sheds some light on what happened with them and some of the characters they met, aka the ghosts they allegedly met. So with all that being said, maybe grab yourself a snack, a nice cup of tea, or some juice, or just some water. Snuggle up under your favourite blanket. I don't currently have a blanket. My 101 Dalmatian blanket. Let's snuggle up under this one. It would also help if I turned my ring light on, wouldn't it? I haven't done this for a while. Can you tell? Are you sitting comfortably? Then I'll begin. When you think of the Cotswolds in Gloucestershire, you most likely imagine beautiful rolling hills, the serene landscape of the countryside, and the quaint historical villages scattered throughout its greenery. However, what if I told you in one of these small, unassuming villages sits one of the most haunted places in all of England? In a village I had never heard of until doing the research for this video, called Watton under Edge, just 5 minutes from your local Tesco Express, is an inn where the patrons might be more at home in the nearby graveyard rather than the contemporary boutiques down the road. This is the hauntingly twisted tale of what truly puts this quiet English town on the paranormal map, and what attracted some well-known faces such as Most Haunted and Ghost Adventures to its door. The ancient Ram Inn has been greeting visitors for over 850 years. Or rather, the building that is now named the Ram Inn has stood in this spot for nearly a century, making it the oldest building in Watton under Edge. Imagine how many people have stayed within its walls, how much energy has accumulated there, and how many of those people may have never left. However, the inn's tale does not start within its walls, but rather what lays beneath them. The building was constructed in 1145 to house masons, workers, and possibly slaves who were working on the nearby St. Mary's Church. But did the workers realise they were building on sacred ground? The church leaders probably did. All over the UK, there are religious buildings built atop of many sacred pagan sites. The ancient Ram Inn was no different. The building in the 1100s was erected atop a pagan burial ground. I can't imagine that the pagans sleeping on this land were very pleased with being disturbed, not only by someone desecrating their final resting place, but by the very people who persecuted them. Not only is the inn built on a pagan burial ground, it is also built on ley lines that trace directly to the mysterious site of Stonehenge. Does this mean that even in 1145, the building was haunted by the pagans it was built on top of? Many people theorise that due to the workers having to divert streams around the church site, this may have opened up a portal for spirits or something more malevolent and vengeful. I think I'd be pretty miffed off too if someone decided to stick a building on top of my head, especially if once the building was complete, a Christian priest of all people made it his home. I can't imagine the pagan spirits taking too kindly to this, which makes me ask once again, has this site been haunted for nearly a millennia? Like I said, the building now known as Ancient Ram Inn was originally built to house Gurnius. Maybe I should have actually looked at how to pronounce that before doing this. Not genius. An author pronounced genius, ironically. It's Gerinus, not Gurnius, or whatever I said. So the building was originally built to house Gerinus, the first recorded vicar of Wotton-under-Edge, and the inn's first permanent resident. Records of who owned or resided in the building afterwards are near impossible to find. But it is thought that he was the only vicar to have lived there due to the local vicarage being built a few years later. However, this is only the beginning of the inn's tale. Over the centuries, the building has had many uses and many owners. Due to its age, the records seem to be a little skewed. I did look through several sources, and all of them had different dates for different people living and owning the inn. So just take that as you will as we go along with this. The inn we see today is still standing thanks to John Humphreys, who bought it in the late 1960s to preserve it. In 1968, it was reopened as the pub and guest house it is now. However, did Humphreys awaken something whilst renovating the basement? When in the basement, he accidentally unearthed a possible sacrificial grave of several pagan children. They are thought to be sacrificed due to the daggers buried alongside them. Have these children joined the legion of ghosts that are said to roam the inn's dimly lit corridors? And are they to blame for any of the paranormal goings-on witnesses claim to experience? Humphreys claimed the alleged 20-plus spirits made themselves known to him as soon as he moved in. He claimed to have been pulled out of bed by a, quote, demonic force and dragged across the room. Maybe there is a malevolent entity who has a disdain for people entering its domain. Or maybe the spirits were showing Humphreys who the inn truly belonged to. This encounter, along with the many more Humphreys had, did not discourage him though. He continued working on the inn for its reopening, making locals skeptical about his claims. Was the inn truly haunted, or was this merely a publicity stunt for the reopening? Because why would Humphreys stay in an alleged incredibly haunted and incredibly demonic place if it was not a hoax. Nevertheless, this has never deterred the numerous visitors and paranormal investigators to stay the night. So now you have the history. Let's get to the bit we all really want to know about, the hauntings. Who are the ghosts of the ancient Ram Inn? The inn is rumoured to be haunted by several entities, all with their own unique stories. The accuracy of these stories is up for debate and speculation. Because of the records being lost over the centuries this building has been here on this ground, and also, can you really believe what a quote-unquote spirit is telling you? Or the people who allegedly speak to these spirits are telling you. So for this video, let's just pretend that all these spirits are real and are haunting the corridors of the Ram Inn. First up, a woman who resides in the quote-unquote witch's room. It is believed that in the 1500s, a woman seeking refuge at the inn due to being branded a witch was fleeing persecution like many other women in those dark times. Was she actually a practitioner of the craft? Was she really taking children and boiling them in her cauldron? The latter is a little unlikely, as most of the people who were tried as witches were no such thing. They may have been scholars, healers, or simply had ginger hair. The witch trials that are said to have led to the brutal murders of possibly 500 people, though I feel like over 3 centuries of executions, there were probably a lot more. They were nothing more than scare tactics and a way to control the masses, especially women, as it is believed that 90% of those killed were women, some of which may have actually been pagans, like the poor souls buried under the inn. And so the alleged witch fled to the inn, but was soon captured and burnt at the stake. Humphreys named the room in which she hid the witch's room, after this barbaric tale. According to those who have investigated the room, the woman preferred not to be called a witch. Shocker. And her name is believed to be either Elizabeth or Elsbeth. If you were to be disrespectful and call her a witch, she apparently will make it known how much she dislikes the name, and in turn you, who called her something that was essentially a slur back in the day. I can completely understand why she may not be very welcoming to those who, even after centuries, are still calling her evil. Then there is the bishop's room. Can you guess who stayed here? Several bishops are believed to have stayed in this room, and some may have returned in the afterlife. Their apparitions are allegedly seen on a regular basis in the room, as well as the spirits of a cavalier, monks, and even a Roman centurion on horseback who has been seen riding through the walls, terrifying guests and ghost hunters alike. Like, can you imagine just like chilling out, I don't know, getting ready for bed, and all of a sudden a friggin' Roman on horseback just comes through the wall at you? I think I would need new bed sheets and possibly new pajamas, because I probably would have crapped myself. According to Humphreys, there may also be an incubus and succubus who haunt this room too. What a peculiar mix of entities, bishops, monks, and sex demons. Okie dokie. God knows what those bishops were up to. Did they summon something perhaps? Or did these demons find their way into the inn through the portal opened way back in 1145? Nevertheless, if there truly are demons lurking within the inn, I for one would not be staying in any of those rooms. Maybe Elsbeth can help protect me if she is a fellow practitioner. Maybe we can like just bond and she can protect me from the sex demons. Moving on to the men's kitchen. The first room guests step foot in is the very same place that is allegedly built upon a pagan burial ground. Not to be confused with the sacrificial ground under the basement. In the men's kitchen, visitors claim to hear the haunting echoes of babies crying and feel an invisible force pushing them up the stairs. The same stairs where a photograph taken in June 1999 depicts a white mist about the height of a human ascending the staircase and now climbing up to the attic, which, like every other inch of this building, is also allegedly haunted. The attic space was the bedroom of Humphrey's daughter, Caroline, who is the current owner after her father's passing. According to some visitors, a heavy melancholy washes over all who enter the attic, possibly the lingering residual energy of a former owner's daughter who may have been murdered in this space in the early 1500s. Was she also branded a witch? Here is where some of the history may be skewed. It is believed that an old owner and his daughters are spotted by patrons in the bar. Is one of these daughters the same one who was hung in the attic? Is this the spirit of Elizabeth or Elsbeth, who was later burnt at the stake? Or are these all separate apparitions of unfortunate souls of women who met their demise at the inn? According to some records, another woman named Elizabeth was murdered in the inn and buried beneath the bar. If this is the case, why was she murdered? And why did her killer make this inn her final resting place? Last, but certainly not least, we move on to the Mayflower Barn. Within the adjoining barn, which was built in the 18th century, people claim to have seen a 7-foot-tall shadow figure. Just know, I'd be out. Bye, I'm out. Hell to the no, thank you very much. This terrifying and ominous spectre materializes in the doorway of the old barn and is seemingly aggressive towards men in particular. Is this another demon that has been summoned or found its way through a portal? Is this a vengeful spirit who protects the land on which the barn was built, or just a trick of the eyes on the old dark English nights? Nevertheless, paranormal investigators have found themselves frozen in fear at the mere sight of this entity. But why does it guard the doorway of the barn? What lurks within, and is there an even darker history surrounding the ancient Ram Inn? Questions we may never get the answers to. Or maybe the locals were right, and it's all a hoax. I guess you'll have to figure that out for yourselves if you ever dare to visit the most haunted inn in England. And with that, that is the terrifying tale of the old ancient Ram Inn in Wotton-under-Edge, Gloucestershire, England. What are your thoughts on the hauntings of the inn, and also what are your thoughts on the possible stories that go along with these hauntings? The witches, the old owner and his daughters, the possible hanging in the attic, or the woman under the bar, the strange alleged demons who terrify guests, and the bishops and monks who still to this day find themselves stuck in this place. And why? Surely bishops would ascend to whatever is next and not be stuck in the afterlife. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, either here on YouTube or on Spotify. Have you ever been to the ancient Ram Inn? Do you know about it? Have you heard about it before, or is this the first time you've heard about it? Would you go and stay? I don't think I would. Maybe I'd go to the witch's room. I don't know. I feel like me and Elsbeth or Elizabeth we'd just be chill. I'd take her maybe a little offering and everything and be like, yeah, I totally like understand why you might be angry at people calling you a witch still to this day. Anyway, I'm not gonna go into a rant about witch trials and witches. Again, let me know what you think of this story, of this inn. Would you go visit? Have you gone to visit? Did you know about it? Or is this the first time you've heard about it? Anyway, I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're all having a lovely evening wherever you are or whenever you are watching this. And if you are watching this at night, sleep tight. I haven't done this for a while. I'm sweating. Why am I sweating? I'm like weirdly nervous doing this again. And I'm tired and I want to lay down, and this light is hurting my eyes because migraines. But I did it. Got it out. I haven't got it out. I've got to go edit it. Oh my god. It's fine. I'm not actually crying. I'm totally fine. But we did it. We did it. Yes. Maybe I should just do like a blooper reel at the end. I'm supposed to be like all spooky and stuff, and this isn't spooky. This is just me being a pain in the ass to myself. I don't know where I'm putting myself or things. Okay, the ancient ram hin. God, so fucking Yorkshire. My foot's gone to sleep. I don't know why I do it sat on the floor.